Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome to the RC Retro channel. In this episode, I'm going to be building the Team Associated RC10T Cliff Lett Edition. Now, I know many of you were pumped when it was announced that Team Associated would be releasing this stadium truck. I know I was pumped for it, glad I got my hands on it. And as far as this build, well, it's going to be more like a highlights overview, not too in-depth or detailed, just some cool music playing, kind of chill, and just so you can see the highlights of the build. But I'll be right back here at the end to talk about how the build went, what you need to know if you plan on building one of these, and the cool features of the RC10T Cliff Lett Edition. So enjoy the highlights. Well, that's it for building the chassis, and surprisingly, there were no issues with the manual. However, there are a few things that I want to bring to your attention, and I will do that at the end of the video. But now it's on to the body, right? So, okay, I made a new friend. His name is Cali Dave. I just made that up. His name is Dave, though, but we're going to call him Cali Dave because he's from California. And he works for Team Associated in some capacity. I really didn't get into specifics with him. But he reached out to me around the time that the Brian Kinwald was announced. And we started talking back and forth. And he said that he is the one who paints up the bodies for the box art images on the actual boxes. And asked me if I would like for him to paint my Brian Kinwald body. And then a couple weeks later, the Cliff Lett Team Moo was released, and I asked him if he could paint up that one too. And so I sent him both bodies, and well, here they are. So whenever I do any kind of unboxing, you only get one shot to open it up because there's no going back after this. He also told me that he sent me something else in here, which is going to require me to have my Simple Green handy. I'm looking at my shelf over there for my Simple Green, but hold on a second, hold on. I'm seeing tires in here. Ah, Proline tires. And I see other tires in here. Hold on, let me take everything out of the box. Take everything out of the box. Okay, hold on. That it? That it? That's it? I think that's it. All right, so this is awesome. We have Here's the body all painted up. Looks really nice. Really, really nice. This came out great. Wow. Wow. Of course, there's no Team Moo cow stickers because that is, I'm sorry, it's not painted on because those are stickers that they give you. So I will get this all stickered up in a moment. But excellent work. Now, Dave has his own YouTube channel and his own Instagram, and it's My Build Projects. And he does RC, scale models, art, sculpture on there. He does a lot in that realm. And he's got some fascinating things on there. So if you like, go check out his channel. It's My Build Projects. Just want to make sure I get that right. So Dave, thank you so much for painting up these bodies. I have this one upside down because I don't want to show it yet because I'm looking at what I have over here. He sent me also some tires. I'm assuming these are, let's see, Proline tires. I'm assuming these are the actual tires that were used, not the actual tires, but the same type of tires that were used on maybe Brian Kinwald's car that he ran. I have, let's see, Wide 5 Proline. Pretty neat. And then we have Flat Stubble Prolines. So I don't see these anymore on Proline's website, so I'm assuming these are very old, and these are the types of tires that were used to make my Brian Kinwald edition even more like his. So when I wrap up this video, I'm going to reach out to Dave to ask him, and I will confirm with all of you at some point in this video down below. And also we have Brian Kinwald painted body. So, got the wing, and then we have the Turbo Mirage body. Now, my man Dave is a stickler for how things actually look. And maybe many of you don't know this, but Brian Kinwald, when he painted his body, it was the white, blue, and the black. And he actually used a Sharpie marker to do the outline of the blue drip on here. And so when I asked Dave, when he was about to paint mine, I already sent mine off to him, I said, "Are you doing Sharpie marker?" And he goes, "Absolutely, I'm keeping it as authentic as possible." So we have the blue with Sharpie marker going around it, which I think is pretty neat. It just adds that little touch of authenticity to it, you know, just like Brian Kinwald did. So we have Team Moo and the Brian Kinwald painted up bodies right over here. This I'm probably going to get to as far as the build later on at some point. But this one, I'm going to shut off the camera now. I'm going to get this cut out, and we're going to sticker this bad boy up, and then I'll be right back to show you the end product. Well, the RC10T Cliff Lett edition is done, and it turned out amazing. I love the way this stadium truck looks. The white, the neon red, the blue. And for the longest time, I thought this was white, red, and blue. Nope, neon red to go with that awesome chassis. I guess online it just looks like it's red, but it's neon red. And of course, I have to give a huge shout out to my new buddy, Cali Dave, from My Build Projects, that's his YouTube channel, for reaching out to me and offering to paint my RC10T and my Brian Kinwald edition. Thank you so much, Dave, and also thank you for the tires. I confirmed with him that these are the types of tires that Brian Kinwald ran. So the fact that he gave these to me, thank you so much for your generosity, Dave, and I will be using these when I build my Kinwald edition. So thank you again. All right, a couple things you'll need to know when building this RC10T Cliff Lett edition. First off, I sat down last night ready to start peeling and sticking the decals on, and they're not peel and stick like many of the other RC10 releases that just came out. So I was a little disappointed in that because I started doing this last night, and now it took double the amount of time to put the stickers on, cutting everything out rather than just peeling the stick. But that's okay. As previously stated in this video, there were no real issues with the build. This went together pretty smoothly, and just like some of your other RC10 builds, you got to keep a couple things in mind. Like, for example, when you're putting in your steering axles to your steering blocks over here, you're going to need a vise and like a little metal mallet to bang it in, because you can't get these steering axles in just by pushing them or even just pushing down on them. I had to put mine in a vise and kind of just tap it down all the way. Also, something to note is that while all the screws that go into the bottom of the chassis are countersunk, because of the coating, that neon red coating on there, the screws don't sit perfectly flush. So they are countersunk, but they're not completely level with the chassis, if that makes sense. Also, in Bag E Step 5, they tell you to snap on the rear turnbuckles, but the dog bones aren't even in. So you're going to have to end up taking those off to put the dog bones in. Not a big deal. I just found that odd that they have you snap that on now at that point. Also, in building your shocks, make sure you're using the number 2 piston for the front and the number 1 for the rear. I did that backwards. Started to put the oil into the shocks. Second guessed myself, and I'm glad I did, because when I took them out, I realized I put them on backwards. And that's really it for the build. I really enjoyed myself with this one because there were no issues with the manual that left me scratching my head. So something else I just want to point out before I go is that I noticed that for the RC10T Cliff Lett edition, the rear of the body is kind of cut up and around. I left it like this because I like the AE logo on the back. So I left it as is. And then also the wing that you put the Reedy sticker on. You don't screw these in over here to hold on the wing. You can use double-side stick tape or any other tape you have. I use this clear Tamiya tape that I have strips of, and that worked fine. But regardless, you're still going to see it in the rear. It might be an eyesore for some of you, and you might want to instead use 2 little screws to hold in your wing, but I just went with the double-side stick tape. All right, so that's really it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I had fun building it. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, because that's really the best way to show your support for the channel. And for the rest of you who are subscribers, who show your love, thank you for your support, and I'll see you guys all on my next. Take care. Let's go, let's go.